What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video, and today, my friends, I wanted to show you one of the most efficient way to farm for named bosses in the game. Now, I actually put out a video in regards to farming named bosses in the open world about a month ago, and a fellow content creator, Mark of BLADEZ, reminded me about this method, so I wanted to share it with you today. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, do me a favor, my friends, hit that like button. It really helps us out. We are going to jump right into it today. And one thing I'd like to mention really quick is that this is a video geared towards new and returning players. If you're a vet to this game, this is probably something you already do or you're well aware of. As I said, Mark of BLADEZ reminded me of this, and it is definitely, without a doubt, one of the most efficient ways to farm for targeted loot in the game, as well as named bosses. Now, there happen to be a bunch of different things I want to go over in this video, but we're going to jump to the farming method itself. So first and foremost, this takes place every 10 floors in the summit. Now, I strongly recommend starting at least at floor 70, because that way, every time you face one of these areas, you're going to face at least 2 named enemies. With that being said, floor 90 is without a doubt the best floor to hit up. However, we're just going to focus on floor 70 right now to give you a baseline of what you can expect. Now, in regards to the difficulty, it doesn't matter. So again, if you are brand new, do this on normal. If you are more of a vet, obviously, the higher the difficulty and the more directives, the better the chances of getting really good targeted loot. Now, the most important thing you need to be aware of is how many named enemies are actually on the floor that you're hitting up. You'll see here in a second when I open the door, it says 2 hostile lieutenants detective, and I'm on floor 70. However, if I was doing this on 60, it would only be 1, so make sure you're paying attention to what the named enemy count actually is. With that being said, this is where the farming method actually begins. So all you do is you start the floor, you take out a bunch of the, NPCs that are running around, and once you take out enough, the named enemy shows up. You take out the first named enemy, deal with that. You have some more NPCs that you deal with. And at that point, the second named enemy comes out. And that's where you want to make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings. And what I mean when I say that is you just want to make sure of 2 things. You want to make sure that the named enemy is not the last enemy that you kill on the floor. And secondly, you want to make sure your character doesn't die, because that will just completely wipe out this method. So now that I've picked up the loot from the second named enemy, all I'm going to do is exit directly to the lobby. Once I do that, I will then have the ability to go back to floor 70 and hit it up as many times in a row as I like. It is truly an unlimited boss farm. It is a great way to get loot. In my opinion and from my experience, farming named enemies seems to get some really good high quality loot, so this is again one of the most efficient ways to do it. And remember, as I said earlier, this is a method you can do every 10 floors. You can try this on 70, then go up to 80 and 90. Now again, like I said earlier, 90 is the best because you will be facing the most amount of named enemies that you can, and the higher the floors seem to be, the better the loot quality, and always remember, the higher the difficulty will also have an impact as well. Now, as far as your build is concerned, it doesn't really matter what build you use, just use something that you're really proficient with. For me, I'll leave a link to this build in the description down below. It's just a Scorpio build, Hunter's Fury, because I can get through the content pretty quickly, because for me, I want to, hit those named enemies and just reload it over and over as quick as I can. Now, a few things for those of you who are just starting off. First of all, it's going to take you a little while to possibly get to know the layout of the actual floors itself, because you can see here I'm doing my second attempt and the layout has changed. And once you learn the timing of the NPC and the layout, that will make things go so much faster. Now, the next thing I want to address is for those of you that, let's say you're on a lower summit floor. Let's say you're on floor like 11, you know what I mean? You're like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me forever to get to 70. Well, you can use matchmaking for the summit to obviously jump floors. However, in my opinion, there are a few things you want to make sure you take into consideration anytime you do this. First of all, you want to make sure you don't just jump into a group and then bail, because that messes with the enemy scaling, which can obviously throw off the other team members in your group. And secondly, I recommend doing at least 3 floors with the group, for a few reasons. First of all, you're actually helping the group out. But secondly, and I've heard this from different people, there are sometimes they do a floor or 2 and then it doesn't register where they're at. So again, once you go through 3 floors and get through a checkpoint, you should be good to go from that floor and up. The other thing I want to mention really quick quick is that make sure if you are in a group and you're doing this method, everyone is aware that this is actually what's going on. You know, I typically do this on my own and I don't have to worry about someone actually taking out the rest of the NPC or not going back to the lobby. So again, obviously this is better in a dedicated group, but if you're in a random group, talk to each other, let each other know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. On that note, my friends, I'm going to start to wrap this up. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support of this channel. You guys are amazing. And remember, we are a family here, so if you have any tips or tricks, other farming methods you want to pass along, please let me know in the comment section down below. At this point, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. However, as I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really does help out. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.